Have you ever really thought about how ancient wisdom, I mean the really deep, almost mystical stuff, actually survives over centuries?
Hmm.
How does a tradition make sure its core teachings stay alive, like truly transformative and don't just end up as footnotes in some old text?
It's a great question. And it's way more than just writing things down, isn't it? It's about building a kind of spiritual delivery system.
The delivery system.
Yeah, a structure that ensures the wisdom actually lands,
Okay.
internally,
Mm.
not just intellectually.
Mm.
Like, if the teachings are the fuel,
Hmm.
well, the system has to be the engine that actually makes things move.
Okay, I like that analogy. And that, I think, sets up our mission for today perfectly.
Right.
We're doing a deep dive into the source material we have on the spiritual education system of the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood. And we're focusing on one key concept they used, catechism.
Hmm.
Now, catechism today, it sounds a bit like rote learning, maybe a simple Q&A.
Yeah, very basic instruction.
Exactly. But the sources we're looking at, these detailed educational documents, they describe something much, much deeper.
Absolutely.
As it's presented here, catechism isn't just a teaching method. It's explicitly called a structured way to, and I quote, awaken the soul.
Awaken the soul.
Yeah, and to align the mind with divine truth, cultivate the heart. Basically, it's the cornerstone, the absolute foundation of their whole spiritual development program.
And what's really striking is the authority behind this. This isn't just some, introductory manual.
Right.
We have this core statement from Grandmaster WaXhira himself, the founder, the main authority here.
Okay, what did he say?
He calls catechism an alchemical process.
Alchemical, wow.
Yes, an alchemical process that transforms the individual into the divine vessel they are meant to be, aligning their inner world with the higher laws of the cosmos.
An alchemical process.
Yeah,
That's a powerful phrase. Did the sources explain how that worked, like practically, or is it more metaphorical?
Well, the documents suggest it's very practical, even though it starts with that powerful metaphor. Alchemy, in this sense, means a total internal shift. Systematically taking apart false beliefs, rebuilding the self based on, let's say, divine blueprints.
So not just learning facts.
Not at all. The sources really stress that by following this structure, the person experiences real, measurable internal change. That's the key difference, right? Between reading about truth and having the teaching fundamentally shift your consciousness.
Okay, that totally reframes it. So if the goal is this deep transformation, we need to understand the path.
Exactly.
And the sources lay it out clearly in stages or degrees.
Distant degrees.
Let's start at the beginning then. Section 1, the foundational path.
The entry point.
Right. The first 3 degrees, these are the initiate degrees. And the sources are really clear. These are open to the public.
Yeah, that's crucial. Accessibility is built right in, a non-exclusive way in for anyone who's genuinely curious.
So what was the function of these initial stages?
Well, the documents highlight that they provide a really powerful introduction to the mysteries. But the main thing is they're designed to be experienced.
Experienced, not just learned.
Exactly, not just analyzed like a textbook. These foundational degrees lean heavily on structured rituals. Opening rituals, closing rituals.
Ah, the rituals. The sources describe these as conduits, don't they?
Precisely. Like a bridge, they say, between the mundane world and the sacred realm.
Okay.
They're designed to immerse the participant, help them step into that sacred space, shed the everyday distractions, the illusions. It's that ritualized immersion that makes the learning happen.
So what key ideas are they immersing people in during these public degrees?
Through this kind of ritual practice, you connect with 4 fundamental concepts, the bedrock of their whole worldview.
Okay, what are they?
First, the interconnectedness of everything. Second, understanding life as vibration and how to work with that.
Vibration.
Third, recognizing the divine unity behind all of creation. And finally, the power of choice, how our choices shape our reality.
Let's pick one, like the vibration of life. How did the catechism make that real for someone new, beyond just saying everything vibrates?
Good question. The sources actually detail specific practices within those initiate degrees.
Like what?
Meditations, chanting rituals, designed to teach control over your own sort of personal energy field.
Okay.
There's documentation, for instance, of a specific morning ritual. It involves rhythmic breathing, certain tonal vocalizations.
Yeah.
And the aim is to let the initiate actually feel the shift in their internal vibration. So it connects the big cosmic theory to a direct personal experience.
Okay. So the catechism isn't just memorizing truths.
No, it's about feeling their presence,
Yeah.
physically, internally.
That definitely goes beyond a basic primer. But as powerful as that foundation sounds, the documents show a big shift happens after those public degrees.
Yes, a major transition point.
Which brings us to Section 2, the path to spiritual mastery.
This is where the system really shows its deeper structure. The higher levels, they call them the navigator and captain degrees. These are exclusive.
Exclusive, so not open to just anyone anymore.
Correct. They're only available to members who've shown a deeper commitment to the Brotherhood's path and its practices. The curriculum shifts gear here.
From universal truths to something more specialized.
Exactly. Advanced application.
Okay, but that raises a big question. Why? Why gatekeep the mastery path? If the foundational truths are for everyone, why make the advanced stuff exclusive?
Well, the analysis in the sources suggests it's less about secrecy and more about, well, internal stability and readiness.
Stability.
Yes. These advanced degrees are geared towards creating spiritual leaders. They go beyond just personal alignment. They focus on actually integrating and using higher cosmic laws.
Okay.
And the sources imply that handling that amplified level of cosmic knowledge, let's call it, without the discipline built up in the initiate stages, it could actually be destabilizing, maybe even harmful to the person.
So it's a kind of filter for readiness, for character?
Absolutely. They're reserved for those deemed ready to take on that mantle of spiritual leadership. The goal shifts. It's not just passive understanding anymore. It's about actively activating that divine potential within, specifically to serve others.
Ah, the service aspect.
Yes, these degrees are for those willing not just to transform themselves, but to help guide others towards enlightenment. It's a fundamental shift, from being a seeker to becoming a reliable guide, someone who can navigate the chaos out there.
Okay, becoming a reliable guide. So if these higher degrees are about embodying truth and guiding others, did the sources talk about tangible tools they used?
They did, which flows nicely into Section 3, the specific tools of the masters.
Right.
This is where you see that commitment to structure and service made concrete. The Brotherhood links specific symbolic tools to these higher degrees. They're described as actual aids for spiritual development, discipline, direction.
Okay, let's break those down, starting with the navigator tools. These are for people learning to lead, right? To set a course.
Exactly. And the three main tools cited are the captain's wheel, the compass, and the anchor.
Captain's wheel, compass, anchor. Okay.
And notice the theme there, direction, but also stability.
Mm-hmm.
The captain's wheel obviously represents self-control, directing your own destiny.
Yeah.
The idea is you have to steer yourself before you can steer others.
Makes sense. And the compass, not just pointing north, I assume.
No, not literally. It symbolizes the constant internal reference point for moral and spiritual truth.
Mm-hmm.
It ensures the leader stays aligned with that divine flow, no matter what's happening externally.
Okay. And the anchor, that seems almost counterintuitive for progress, but you said stability.
Exactly. Its stated purpose is grounding, stability, preventing spiritual drift, especially when you're dealing with the sometimes turbulent energies involved in guiding others.
Ah, okay. Grounding in the storm.
Precisely. So together, their purpose is to help develop the spiritual faculties required to guide others toward higher truth, making sure the ship is guided steadily, purposefully.
Right. Very practical symbolism. Now, building on that, the highest tier, the cabin tools. These sound even more esoteric.
They are described that way, geared more towards pure internal mastery and that direct divine connection. The tools are the blazing star, the sextant, and the bell.
Blazing star, sextant, bell. Okay, the blazing star.
Symbol of awakening, illumination, the higher self, fully active, fully shining. It's used to hone inner vision, to see past the surface level of reality.
And the sextant. Okay, in navigation, that's for measuring angles, finding your position, using the stars. How does that translate spiritually?
It's presented as the ultimate alignment tool.
Alignment.
Its purpose is to help calculate, to understand your own position relative to those higher laws, the cosmic rhythms. The sources frame it as a metaphor for honing intuition.
Intuition.
Allowing the captain to make decisions based on these precise, universal principles, not just fleeting emotions. It lets the captain measure truth, in a sense.
Measure truth. Wow. Okay, and finally, the bell. You ring a bell to get attention, to mark something. What's its role here?
It's used to summon pure consciousness, to focus the internal state. It's called the tool of conscience. Yes. Used to punctuate rituals, internal disciplines, kind of cutting through the mental noise to create an immediate, clear connection with the divine source.
Wow.
So all three together help in honing the intuition inner vision, and conscience.
It's incredibly methodical. These tools clearly represent that systematic step up, deeper layers of knowledge, discipline, cosmic understanding.
Right, building directly on those foundational initiate teachings.
And it really hammers home that this isn't just theory. This level of mastery requires real, dedicated practice, activation.
It's the difference between, say, reading the map of the ocean and actually commanding the ship through a storm.
Yeah.
It's the merger of theory with absolute discipline practice. The whole catechism structure ensures the captain doesn't just know things, but has proven they can use that knowledge effectively under pressure and for the benefit of others.
So let's try and pull this all together. What does this deep dive into the Atlantean Brotherhood's catechism system really tell us? This brings us to section 4. The takeaway. The big picture purpose, according to the sources, seems to be creating this really structured, step-by-step process for spiritual growth, helping people shed the layers of illusion and return to your true divine nature.
And that transformation, that return, is the absolute core of it. It hammers home that this is a spiritual transformation that touches every part of your being.
Not just thinking about it.
No, not an intellectual hobby, not a social club. The Catechism gives the actual method for aligning your actions, your thoughts, your emotions with that divine flow. It systematizes what can often feel like a really abstract, maybe even chaotic journey.
What really stands out to me, though, is that deliberate, structured, dividing access.
Yes, the split.
You've got the public knowledge and the initiate degrees, the big foundational truths like unity, interconnectedness, choice available for everyone.
Right, the universal basics.
But then there's this serious private commitment needed for the navigator and captain degrees. That's where you get the specialized tools for leadership, the path towards that direct divine connection.
And that split, that structural dichotomy, it reveals a deep philosophical belief within the Brotherhood, doesn't it? About truth and service.
How so?
Well, the structure seems to imply that some truths are foundational, universal, yes.
Yeah.
But the ability to truly master those truths, and especially to guide others using them, well, that requires a deeper level of personal sacrifice, commitment, maybe even a degree of exclusivity to maintain integrity.
Which leads to a really provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider after hearing all this. If we accept the system's logic, does true mastery, the kind that uses those advanced tools like the sextant and the bell, does it inherently require that kind of exclusivity and dedicated service to others?
Yeah.
Or is profound, complete transformation possible just through those public gateways, through fully embracing the foundational truths of the initiate degrees alone? Is that final level of divine connection truly reserved only for those who commit to leading the way for everyone else?
It's worth pondering the power of structure itself and ritual in any path to knowledge, spiritual or otherwise.
Yeah.
Sometimes having that really disciplined map and maybe those specialized instruments, perhaps that's the key to unlocking potential and also ensuring that potential is used responsibly.
Well, thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood's path to mastery. This deep dive was our distillation of the sources we have, aiming to give you the clearest picture of how they structure this idea of total spiritual transformation.
Definitely encourage you to explore those ideas of structure and symbolism further in your own studies.
Until next time, we'll keep digging into the source material.